In Genesis 12, we read that the Lord calls Abraham out of the world to create a new community built on God's revelation, church, with no obligation to Abraham at all, other than to leave his old life behind, to instead follow God's call, trusting in his promise of divine community, church. A community which in Abraham's lifetime built 4 altars for corporate worship, church. Chapter 14 broke bread and took wine, church. And practiced various traditions that bound community, church. Such as chapter 17, circumcision, that points to the future seed of Abraham, the Messiah, who would be cut off for us, so that we could be brought in to divine community, church. Abraham's life is put into contrast with Lot, who in chapter 13 chose the more prosperous land that would provide independency and self-sufficiency away from divine community, and this led ultimately to death, isolation and destruction, as you can read in Genesis 19. The drama that surrounds Abraham's life is whether or not he could trust in God's promise of divine community, or whether Abraham could just come to God in his own way. Any attempt that Abraham made to build divine community for himself led to family breakdown and isolation. His wife Sarah was used and abused, and in Genesis 21, Hagar and Ishmael were cast out. New life only came when Abraham and Sarah's desire to promote self began to die in their old age. They came to a point where they could do nothing else but trust God. Genesis 21, Isaac was born. Church. In chapter 22, Abraham brings his long-awaited son Isaac up to the altar to be sacrificed. But God redeems him with, chapter 22:13, a ram caught in the thicket, teaching us that God alone intercedes in all relationships, and through the unity of self-sacrifice, as fulfilled by Jesus Christ on the cross, God alone will build his divine community that will be as numerous as the stars in the sky and the sand on the seashore. Church. My dear Christian friends, you cannot honour God by worshipping him in your own way, and you cannot fulfil his promises, Genesis 12, whilst in Egypt. He gave his son, a ram caught in the thicket, to die to redeem you back into divine community. Sin scatters, grace gathers. Christians, go to church.